Alright guys, we're back. And we are entering into game 2 for trios. And it's like Frostbus, man, getting his MVP. And I'm thinking to myself, can it happen? Can it happen? Are we able to see my man make it towards 3 MVPs in one day? I mean, that's a hard bargain, especially coming off from how these players were playing in the end circle, because they weren't playing traditionally. They weren't playing for poke. They were playing for like, all right, they play for someone who gets caught out, but more importantly, it's like people jinx themselves and trying to go ahead and say, I can fight you on a 1v1 in the open field in the arena, and then all of a sudden, you know, things lead to another. Someone gets hit by a bow shot, and then someone backs off, gets a blue focus, initial hits, doesn't commit towards it, and then gets caught out by a Tesla ultimate. It's like, what? And we're going to see into this first round selection here how Zipping Yang is going to be picked, but with the majority of it being banned, allowing for then JDG's verse to go through and take that Justina slot. And then next, we see Akame choose Shayol. And then we're going to see, you know, Farius Shen and Shayol just be in the mono pick. So like the 2-2, so they won't get banned, which then allows for the third round selection to really lock into Farius Shen if they choose to do so. Because considering that we see only 2 Justinas here, now Farius Shen, Tessa, Justina from AS, Kai Bao thinking about it, he might be rocking an Akos. Don't tell me you're doing Zai, bro. Don't do Zai, bro. I've seen a history, unless he's running F3 Zai, right? Where we've seen F3 Zais can actually do an impeccable amount of damage and catching targets out in like midair, for instances, especially off of Roman Yangs, but also even in the overworld, and then catching them in a position where they rather not want to be in. That's where I'm kind of like, okay, understood, but I'm kind of thinking about how well that kind of really just comes into play against Shayols and definitely against the Shayols, but also against Justinas. He's gonna have to be very careful against the Justinas in this lobby, because they can capture him into a freeze and they can't do anything. He can't do anything about it. They're always gonna look for opportunities of avoiding that. It's like, you know, like, let's think about that. Can it work? Yes. Third parties, absolutely. V2 to activate those burns, most likely. But if he runs V3, then we're really in the game. He's really playing the game. Let's see. V2. Okay, and F3. I'm telling you guys. I mean, I'm hoping he kind of performs well, because he's up against... he can chase out Fairy Shens as well, who are getting caught into a spot where they would rather use F1, and he can use his F3 offensively to chase gain them. And then if anything, they have to force the beacon drop, but he's immune to that beacon drop afterwards. And in which case, what happens then is that he's able to take his opportunity of like really just locking that one down for the majority of time. So gonna have to see how he kind of wants to do with that one. So, I mean, I'm still thinking about it, because Jux is rocking the F2 for Zipping Ying, so he's immune to those type of staggers that come out from confirming a Morris Blessing. But it really just comes down towards the gameplay for these guys. So, kind of hoping to see things kind of lead out towards it. If the Zipping can get away from omnidirectional attacks from Kai Bao. Let's see, because I'm really hoping to see a Zai kind of pop off here. It may not happen, but F3 Zai is always a pleasure. Okay, spawns are showcased. Lions out here north towards the Metop region. We're going to see JJH's... JJH? Yeah, JJH's XXY over by the Pinnacle... is that Pinnacle Town? Somewhat. Not really. No, that's not Pinnacle Town. That's where EWG Urano, that's where JL's AS, that's where Battle's X and are all congregated towards. This is more between the Fortress of Kavi, north of the Fortress of Kaviani. And then into the Salvation Podium he might go. But then again, you see Wolves Kai Bao is actually near the Salvation Podium. XCG's Wing Liangs and Plume Castle. KLAC T25 board towards the Ignis Mound. And TE's Jux over there as well. 521's Akame towards... that's not Trenches. That's... it's definitely not Cinnabar Valley, because that's where GG Shaw is. It's just north of that. Gonna double check that. East of the whole entirety of Plume Castle. But with that being said, we'll get our spawn starting here in just a second. I do want to see how Wolves Kaiba does this. Now there's a purple armor there, so that's gonna be a crucial point if he can try to get himself. Nice, I like it. That's exactly how you have to play with F3, where you can use it to kind of put yourself in a position of actually being able to catch someone outside of like a blue focus where they can't hit you. He's got F3 back in 5 seconds, so he just needs to buy it out time against Wang Liang, but a nice armor swap, clean armor swap. Wang Liang, though, can't find one for his life, and he's like, bro, I'm just trying to live this game. And then you're going to see a horizontal get held out here. Wang Liang finds himself to get caught into a burn, and RMB comes out here. Horizontal is held. Another one, a clink, no soul break, catches the neutral. RMB again, goes for another vertical release, and then all he needs is just a one RMB chase, and that's it. Wolves Kaiba gets the first elimination to this lobby. Now it's going to be a significant kill spree. JG versus finds a kill off of GG shot, and Akame is looking to try to chase out for Verse as he's trying to skill rush in and out. But with the blue armor swap, even with it, F2 now invested for Verse. He's going to have to really just think about, okay, well, this Shio is going to be a little bit annoying if she definitely has F2 back up again in the next couple of seconds. I'm going to be careful about that Verse. He puts distance between him and her, but not enough because Akame just looks towards to chase tech with this RMB with the dual halberd, so he's just making sure he can get it back up and going. He's got his staff back. That's good. The F2 comes out. Early cancel from Akame. Gets himself the cooldown. RMB is released. Jump LMB isn't confirmed here. Another armor swap for Verse to actually use. Catches the pitter patter. Might be going for the LMB again. Gets parried. F2's up again. F2 from Akame here to bait this one out to force the chase. There it is. And sees that he was not taking the bait. Akame actually takes full advantage of one of the chases, but now that Akame has ultimate, it looks like there's nothing to give Verse enough time to actually kill unless he can get his ultimate first or secondary towards this. RMB comes out the chase's ear, and that's going to be dash RMB. If only he had 1 percentage point left. But back in towards, Wang Liang spawning on Kai Bao for a round 2. No one still hasn't found that purple armor, I'm assuming. Kai Bao actually looking to go ahead and get that chest going, but we're gonna have to see how this kind of operates because Wang Liang seems to be the one who invaded this in the first place, and Kaiba doesn't even have an ultimate here to kind of go off of. Ultimate cast from Wang Liang gets the free V1 dash actually. And Wang Liang gets to the chest, gets the armor. That armor is still there the whole time. It's kind of crazy too. Let's see if he notices it. We're gonna wonder if he notices it. But Kaiba loses his fight in the 1v1 against Wang for part 2. Well, rather, he won against Wang. He lost the second time. Over by Pinnacle Town, though. Arano and JL's AS and TT25 are all conglomerated here. You're going to see a In the Dunes fight between Frostivus and JDG's Verse as Verse went down south. We are going to see Verse kind of, make his decision and trying to scale rush out here. I mean, this is Frostivus playing out the Fairy Shen. Trying to avoid the staff RMBs is like a miracle. F1 comes right back in here, goes for a blue focus bait out. Finds the RMBs. Looks for a beacon for the stagger, doesn't get it. Verse looks to the hold check, has F2, has ultimate ready as well. Knockback is confirmed, looks to the escape as Frostmas gets himself to close gap. No pistol shot can confirm this because now that the terrain is in his advantage, JG versus getting into the building. Looking for 1 heal in 2.7 seconds. He gets that one, but he can't have enough HP to survive a blue focus. But F1 to push back. Another dash not to be available because Verse used both of them. Pistol shots are confirmed here for back-to-backs, and you can see Versus just looking for armors on the way, just trying to scale rush around here, and it's not happening. He's going to have to just find that big armor powder right there and go for that massive heal for 500. Oh, I guess he doesn't pick up that armor powder. With everything coming out here, Verse gets eliminated for the second time and is eliminated at the lobby. 2 eliminations for Frostivus in this round. TG5 gets paired by about as Exen. You can see Arana looking for a KS right here for a kill steal. TT25 looking for the scare rush off to the sky. Exen getting himself into the corner while the RME comes out here from TT25 and with a jabbing coming out from jabbing's like attacks pattern coming out from the fan. TT5 does get eliminated by Exen, and as Exen looks to kind of clean sweep a double kill, double purple weapons for both of these characters, but a V1 for Arano is on the ready, so he can out heal the armor here. Immense. Catches 1 RMB, uses ultimate on a downward spiral, avoids a slight uppercut. Arana really being careful against Exen's chase here. Hold checks, R&B. Berry Pate comes out here. Parry bait. This is going to be a poke for the ultimate. Nice parry coming out here from Exen. And as much as it comes out, F1's available for Arano. He's going to take some damage mitigation and get some heal over time. But Arana can keep this extended, gets the R&B confirmation, goes for the lethal, not the lethal jab, goes for the R&B instead. And obviously, Arana was ready for any one of these parries, but he's going to take the time to actually go ahead and reset. He hasn't burned Arana's F1 yet, so he knows that he can't get a confirmation kill even with that parry that he was able to confirm for the Dragon Slayer. Plus, he has to burn through 1500 HP at that point too. And as he's moving and a Valiant Challenger drops in here, XXY sees his target prio selection, looks for those pistol shots to say, hey, where's your HP bar? And, you know, I want to know so that way I can see how much value it is. And he's going to go for it. He just hit him right there for the last hit. 17 grapples for XXY, 0 eliminations, but a purple fan and a blue pistol to kind of work off of. And into the Plume Castle, these guys go towards the gateway of Aquila. It's kind of scary to see whether or not there's going to be a kill steal coming out here. GG Shaw is actually nearby, close behind. Arana goes inside or on top of the Aquila's gateway, just to get some, you know, just kind of sneaky. But the Valiant Challenger XXY is still hunting this down. Now down south of the Salvation Podium, we're going to see Wang Liang and Frostibus up against up against TE's Jux. And while that fight can happen, AS is also on the south side of that. Well, it's Kai Bao just looting up towards the Camel's Hump near to the Moonbeam Gorge as well, just to keep himself kind of propelled and, you know, into the zone so he can get to the western Rowan Yang that's nearby to him. TG5 is onto that vicinity as well. And with that, we're actually going to see a chance here for every single one of these opponents south of the Salvation Podium to try to want to take their chances of entering the Salvation Podium, or into the Rowan Yang, I should say. I'm curious who's gonna grief, because there's always someone who can grief. Like Kai Bao could grief everybody if he was there, because he can F3 them inside of the preemptive of it. So here he goes. He's in there. Okay. First Rowan Yang is against an opponent with blue armor and the same bar as him. TTG5 versus Shaw. Bao to Exen versus Kai Bao. XCG's Wang Liang versus Alliance's Frostibus. 2 purple staffs for Kai Bao. This is his best weapon for this build for the F3 Zai. So if he decides to want to use martial artist will hook for him, that just guarantees. Exen dodges that though, but the midair R&B is released here. He's looking for another one, clinks it. Exen looking for it, another one. Okay, think about the pattern recognition. Catches his R&B with the dual blades and catches this kill as easy as pie. F3 to extend, but it's not going to be available. It looks like Exen really was able to dodge that with one chance, and he got it. He actually, I think he floated in midair for that dodge too. If Kai Bao had hit that, I think that would have been it for Kai Bao or Exen. Maybe, because he would have been causing the burn afterwards for the V2 to actually burn off of the Titan or when the mech form. Maybe, I don't know. It's debatable. Now GG shot, it's 1,000 damage. GG shot has to go through TT5. Cannon shot comes out here. GG shot goes ahead and has his V1 out here. TT5 can get a free cannon shot here, waiting for it. Doesn't hit it. And that's going to be an enchant confirmation for GG Shaw to get one heal off and back off here. The tower is kind of in close proximity, but it gives enough distance between him and Shaw. TT5 looks for the secondary shot. He misses it. Looks up, hits 6 GG Shaw, and now GG Shaw's at 500 HP. R&B to the R&B. F1 comes out here. Gets caught into the V1. TT5 gets caught into that grapple. We're going to see this chance here for the dash R&Bs coming up from Shaw. R&B gets released here. F1 to be initiated. R&B to try to knock out that cannon, but gets right into the flame of danger, and Shaw finds that elimination there as well. Now onto this area, we're gonna see Kai Bao going right back into the Soul Bloom that was Wang Liang, and no one actually was able to pick that up. And Wang Liang lost his Rowan Yang, it looks like, against GG Shaw there. So hopefully we get to see a replay soon if there's no action coming in the next couple of seconds. Frostus finds his third elimination as he won his Rowan Yang. And Wang Liang's actually right behind Kai Bao here, so this is going to be a rematch. Big rematch. Does anyone find that purple armor yet? Oh, Frostbus was right there to pick up that Soul Bloom too. That's crazy to me. Nice chance here for the ultimate cast coming out, and that's a dash to get himself out of there. That's 3 dashes, or 2 dashes. Now it's the third one. Cast a curse moment. Now Wang Liang does not have ultimate. He's looking to try to reposition himself away, but he gets caught to the grapple. Guess who it is? Kai Bao. And Kai Bao has F3, so now he really puts Wang Liang in a position where he cannot stand to be here. Cost of pistol shots and cost of the R&Bs, but Frostbus finds the elimination. Kai Bao loses it, finds that Soul Bloom. It's going to go ahead and try to go for this R&B off of Frostbus. Finds the hooked wings, doesn't get the second confirmation hit, but gets caught into the staggers due to that animation being so long. But Kai Bao has ultimate. He's looking to cast it. Frostbus actually avoids that, gets caught into that heal. F3 kind of really capitalized on this end. He's looking for the F1 to be used by Frostbus, and Frostbus hasn't burned it yet, and there's going to be that kill confirmation as Frostbus literally didn't use an ability to bait out his opponent. I want to talk about that. So the thing is that what he kind of did there, I mean, that's kind of unfortunate, but the thing is that Kai Bao really had this to dead to rights, where he's anticipating his opponent's movements. He catches his R&B. Okay, cool. Or his or his gold focus, right? Frostbus now just lost 500 HP. Where's his F1, right? Backs off because he's like, oh, I'm waiting for that F1 to come out here. Uses F3 here. Boom. Okay. He's not using F1, right? He's like, he should be using F1 here, definitely. Right? Catches one neutral, backs off. Doesn't go for two because of terrain as well. And Frostbus just holds it down where Kai Bao got himself locked into a position of using those dodges and pattern recognition for that beam, for that beacon to be dropped. And just gives Kai Bao, like, I'm not using my ability just because I know you're expecting it. Like, as a combo breaker that pushes back and pushes me back, that I'm just going to be holding on to it. I mean, he had Vermilion Bird's Might, so, that also is in the mindset of him, like, I don't need to burn this ability coming off, especially coming through, in that 1v1, but also to just bait out the enemy opponent, just saying, yeah, I'm not really worried about this kind of, I'm going to use this to my advantage so that way I get a free hits. Hexa Harmony Spear, though, coming up from AS against Exen. Exen takes that F1 to the opposite direction and confirming a horizontal attack. Parry is not met there. I think Exen's going to be caught in here for a beacon drop and then catches the LMB. RMB. Big damage. Exen gets his third elimination. Still has Vermilion Burst Might, so he's still kind of safe. He's going to save that Soul Bloom. Nice beacon. Nice parry coming up here. GG Shaw, though, against Arano with a dual sap. Tries to find the V1 priority off the list and looks to try to go for a parry as Arano gets himself in the shifty mood. Scare Rush for a stagger here is going to force the F1 from Arano here, from G Shaw if he feels like it. But this is the same mindset like how Frostbus did it, where he didn't use his F1 unless it's a really dire need, and he's going to use this as an opportunity to deny this disenchantment to come out here. Now G Shaw looking for neutral and look for the LMB uppercuts and is unable to confirm the timings between the 3 seconds and whatnot. It's like it's like a variable of like how Frostbus, or not Frostbus, Justina is actually able to take advantage of that. But with Tesla, you got to be careful not to use as much HP to be depleted before the disenchantment. But GG Shaw gets caught into his third parties here. We're going to see a kill coming in from Exen as the one kill comes out. Arano finds a Soul Bloom. Stoneform procs out here. Exen going to go for this chase with a Scale Rush. Catches Arano with an R&B afterwards. And then with his LMB, you're going to see this familiar movement that Exen is really he's really putting Providence on with the hits that he's doing. Because this is his area of tranquility. Like he's able to catch these Scale Rushes off with his R&Bs as much as possible for that free neutral damage, and looking towards the skies. As Arano comes back into here, though, this is where it gets kind of weird. Arano spawns in here, or it gets caught out here for the armor swap, and Exen, his new opponent, is Exen finds XXY here, and he's like, yo, what are you doing here? LMB's come out, Beacon drop is next, R&B is confirmed. F1 is now coming out from XXY. R&B is delayed. He has to look for a quick bow shot, really fast, really concise, as Exen kind of goes ahead and around the corner and keeps himself to heal up before the Realm Yang decides to spawn here in a couple seconds. A grapple coming out from XXY. He wants to keep this going into the zone because he has V1 now. This is where it becomes the war of attrition. F1 is still held on Exen here. He's not using it just yet until he gets caught up by an R&B, for instances, from the fan, or he gets parried. F1 from XXY is giving him movement, but there's so much horizontals are coming out, even with the damage mitigation. Bow shot's going to confirm here for 1 to 3. He's looking for those headshots. R&B comes out here for a clink, and then there's going to be a chance for a horizontal for the stone form release, and XXY looks for these pistol shots, distancing himself back into it. XXY looks to try to go ahead and pressure Exen. If Exen gets into this mech, this gives XXY what he's looking for, which is forcing Exen into this ravine. And Exen is not taking that opportunity of doing that. He's not going to do that. He doesn't need to. So he just backs off here and forces himself back into the Jin Armory and gets himself resetted here as a result. And this is good. This is good. The fact that Frostbus was at top for 5 and now Exen just grabbed 3 eliminations on the flip is kind of nuts and, bonkers. But it is to the extent, like, to the Worlds player, from... from times past. Like I know Exen has the capabilities of fighting out these players, man, especially the top ones, from both Spider and Mike being in the board. He can capitalize on lobbies like these as well as those guys. Like that's where I want to see that kind of like that switch up, the flip the switch and it just goes into ballistic mode with the pole sword. Now TTG5 gets caught out here for this R&B for free. Frostbus tries to go for it on his own end. A nice extension from TTG5 though. The return to sender really just did the job there. But now it's a Fairy Shen versus Fairy Shen mech fight. Frostbus goes immediately into cannon mode. You're going to see him go for 2 shots. And TTG5 gets his 1, 2nd, and 3rd shot confirmed here as the staggers come out here. Frostbus actually is enabled to go into cannon mode and lock out TTG5's mech mode here for just 1 more shot. Looking for it. Swarm is confirmed. Goes straight into cannon form right after those swarm shots. And TTG5 gets the time to heal here. Frostbus cancels ultimate. Big time. R&B comes out here. We're going to see Frostbus hold the horizontal here if he can. These guys are really anticipating this horizontal check. I love it. But this is going to be where it's problematic for Frostbus, considering that it looks like the scare rush was confirmed for TTG5, who's looking towards it. Gets a kill. Finally gets his elimination to Romiang. That's a really funny horizontal kind of like bait out fight, because it's like, okay, I see you charging horizontal. The moment that you try to charge R&B, though, I can catch a stagger off, because there's a little bit of delay for that. Which is like, you know? This is the minute stuff, man. This is the stuff that they keep track of. Stuff. Frame data. Let's go. But Frostbus, he's got 5 kills, right? So he's got to have some solo somewhere, right? Stowed away, maybe. No, GG Shaw also lost his Romiang fight against Akame from 5-2-1. So now for Shaw, he's looking towards this ravine. I'm not sure. There's like a soul down there. T25 right here. Avoiding him. Big avoidance. Actually, massive avoidance. Maybe there is a soul bloom somewhere around this area towards the Camel's Hump. Gonna have to see about that one. But Frostbus, though, still looking for his way out. I don't know. I'm not sure if he does have a soul bloom. I mean, his rotation kind of expanded upon the map pretty well. So he's got 4 eliminations on ground level because 1 kill in the Romiang or 1 win in the Romiang kind of gives him like that opportunity of only having 4 kills in the overworld. So now it's up to him to really just find somebody. But GG shot over by Jin Armory while Exen is there looting. GG shall find Exen. Exen heard it. Counter grapple was not successful. R&B is coming out here. Oh, you know Exen was trying to look for a crouch parry there. Not going to happen though. Exen gets his R&B as a riposte, and there's going to be V1. Exen looking to try to use for beacon drop here. There it is. F1 to confirm, and then with the enchant to be denied because of the iframe from the Fairy Shen ult, we're going to see this push coming in here from Exen. Now, the funny thing is that Akame is here. Akame is the Shayo. Doesn't have really anything to really worry about, as he's putting himself in this position of just trying to catch GG Shaw in the sky. And if he needs to use ultimate for the denial of like heavy staggers, such as with the cannons from Fairy Shen, he won't have any issues there. But Exen is down. GG Shaw finds his opportunity to try to capitalize on it. He's got an ultimate cast here ready and now for only 1. He's either going to use it to try to mitigate blue focus, or he's going to be using it as a way of confirming it for free. But he gets caught to the grapple into the bow shot to the bow shot. GG Shaw losing this bow fight against Exen. Akame right behind, looking to try to force himself out of this ravine. Exen will look towards the sky as GG Shaw looks for the chase. And as GG Shaw kind of commits towards this chase, we're going to see whether or not he can get this stagger off this end. Because now the Forbidden Seal is available. Exen burns Shaw's ultimate as he dodges it. And R&B comes out here. This is where the slow and steady move come out from the fan as like detrimental as it can be. Exen tries to get this assault smolder. F1 is down. We know this. It gets dual circles into the jump LMB to the R&B. And this is going to be where a whole check R&B comes out and Shaw goes down. 7 eliminations for Exen here. Frostbus is going to be going ahead and being still at 5 and still under Romiang depletion for another minute. And TE's Jux is going to be like, I'm just going to roll around here while we see Akame. He's kind of most difficult target here for Frostbus to really look towards unless he catches him in the fan infinite, but no one's going to allow that. Someone's going to either steal a kill like Jux, or we're going to see Exen be the menace to society and pick it up with a skill rush. It's either or. Bow shot, though, forces Frostbus into a burn, as well as a target lock, so he can't shift, but he's going to go ahead and climb out this ravine. He's got only a minute, 50 seconds, not even a minute left. TG25 out to this corner. I can't understand whether or not TG25 is playing for placement. 2 kills, eliminations. Yeah, I mean, it's like 4 players, and then he can get the multipliers to go crazy. R&B, Soul Shatter, Bow Shot. Like I said, man, Bow Shot coming in from the backlines. Another target lock, another burn. As Frostbus tries to catch Jux here, F1's initiated. It's a Soul Shatter again. Cannon shots coming in from the backline. This is tough. This is really tough. Jux gets himself out there. And a chase from Frostbus to go into cannon form to try to lock out this kill, but he can't pick up the Soul Bloom fast enough. I don't think he can, honestly. As bowed as Exen looks to pick up the pick up the Soul Bloom, as Frostwhisper just picks up the elimination, and as a result, 9 seconds on the clock. Frostwhisper can't do much here while TT25 looks to try to confirm an extra elimination. He catches that burn, and that's going to be it as Frostwhisper loses out with 6 eliminations. Now TT25 has his 3rd elimination here, and it's top 3 into this lobby: Akame versus TT25 versus Exen. And now it's up to TT25 to find those extra eliminations. He finds a gear. Exen finds a Gold Morris Blessing. Picks himself up some a gold dagger, as well as picking up that gold armor. Doesn't buy any supplies from what I was able to see, but he is going to be going ahead and try to lock down to Akame. And with this chase coming out here, this Moonbane is going to deny this whole area as a, you know, as a position F2 oof into the Moonbane. Now this is where TT25 can capitalize off of this. Actually, wait a second. Exen finds him. Yeah, he needs to get into the mech. As Akame pops ult here, Exen can actually burn these blocks as he can. I see TT25 trying to initiate a burn off of Exen as a possibility for what he can kind of do to get his opponent's health bar. Oh my goodness, Exen looking for the cannon shot. There's a stone form block. He can actually teleport. No, 50 meters. I don't think he can actually teleport towards Exen from that distance. Tough, because he has no more blocks, and this is gonna be a beacon shot. You're gonna see the burn. And that's going to be TT25's 4th kill. Okay, he's looking for this chance to pick up the Soul Bloom. Has Martial Artist Will Hook form. Dodges the RB from the Pole Sword. Exen looking to try to go ahead and put a distance out for the dagger. Martial Artist Will Hook form going to do some massive work for TT25 here. He's at low enough HP to swing this around. Switches to the fan, double fan actually in his pocket. Soul Shatter is confirmed. R&B is confirmed. You're looking for another blue focus. Look for a beacon drop. Gets dodged. Assassin's Lunge reveal from Exen. And we're going to see an F1 and be coming right back into this fight, into a beacon into use as TT25 looks to try to go for swarm hits. Goes for a cannon shot. He gets Mortal Defiance procced against Exen. Exen actually having that one insurance policy to keep him alive. And as Exen looks towards the Pinnacle Town as a saving grace moment, he's going to be going ahead and getting some resets as well as with TT25. The only difference is that Exen has advanced heal. So while he's healing up passively for 2 heals, TT25 has a heal for 3. So there's going to be a lot of time here between the two. And we're going to see TT25 burn all this time for heals and goes forward in circles. His ultimate's about to demech as right now. And then for that point, Exen can take the time to really rush him down. Scare Rush is going to go to the sky to the top of the pillars. We're going to be looking for dash R&Bs off of pillars. That's the main play here for those Scare Rushes. Now, TT25 gets a Soul Shatter, gets the R&B, looking for the F1. We can see this coming out here for a horizontal. We're going to look for another R&B, gets caught in the parry check, and there's going to be a chance here for a blue focus from X. And remember, he has Assassin's Lunge, so if the opportunity comes to arise where he can catch that, he's going to take any opportunity for that stagger to go for a free headshot as well. Now, as Exen looks to try to go ahead and get inside his building, you're going to look for him to try to go for a heal. Another Moonbane has spawned in here. This is the last one for the lobby. And as Exen kind of watches out through that window, he catches a stagger. He looks for this R&B as Exen was anticipating a soul break, but then Exen avoids a horizontal blue focus. This is going to be a close point. R&B comes out. A hooked wings comes out to release. Assassin's Lunge gets denied with the F1, and TT25 rushes around this corner. And then with the scare rushes coming out here, Exen loses the time, loses his supplies. He's only got 3 armor powders, now 2 to only 2. 1 healing, healing berry to go through, and he's now at only 1 armor powder here. Both supplies are at 1 each with armor powder to healing berries. So now Exen takes his chime against TT25. Fairy Shen versus Fairy Shen. I think TT25 gets parried here as F1 is initiated. We know Exen has beacon, so he can use this for a horizontal into a massive Assassin's Lunge. Maybe, I don't know. The stagger time coming up from the V3 beacon can be a little bit, you don't get as much propelled state like a fan does with the R&B. So we're going to have to see whether or not Exen's horizontal will do that job with the beacon drop. Scare Rush is coming out here, gets constantly R&B. We're going to see Exen actually feel himself a little bit too much into this corner, finding himself into a spot where he can't do anything about this. He has a beacon drop to go through. Assassin's Lunge is confirmed. Exen looks for Scare Rushes. He looks to try to find those vertices. And of course, Exen really close to getting parried here. And that's going to be the case for the F1 usage and a Soul Shatter with a beacon drop inside this building. TT5 has to get out of here. He shouldn't be looking to try to use his beacon inside this building, but it blocks off Exen as a result. And you can see how TT5 was able to utilize his position for it. Exen has to demech. He has no armor powders. He's going to have to fight this to the death right now. There's going to be a chance for TT25 to look for his 5th elimination here. As long as he finds that common armor swap, Exen should be good for a little bit while longer. But TT25 has the beacon drop at now 73% for the ultimate. Being careful with it. Catches a bow shot. We're going to see Exen look for that range shots where he least expects it. And there's going to be the dash R&B to the R&B with a dual blade swap out. R&B to the R&B goes for the neutrals. F1 goes ahead and sees 1 HP target. Scare Rush is not confirmed a stagger. And Exen goes down. TT25 picks his 5th elimination up. And I believe maybe MVP. I think Exen still grabs MVP for second place and 7 kill eliminations. Yep. So with that being said, really nice plays coming out here for that fight for Farius Shen's. And the fight never stopped. It never stopped rolling. It never stopped happening. Exon finds himself at 11.8 points for that round. TT5 with 10. This is good. This is a good startup. And Frostbit still having a high point game at 9.3. So now the standings kind of lead down towards the bottom 12, the bottom of the 6 of the 12. To have, you know, even though AS only got 0.5 that game for the placement, as well as XXY. You saw Verse actually pick up the 1 elimination, 1.6 for Arano, 2.2 for Shaw, 1 for Kaibao. And then TE's Jux finds himself 1 elimination there, and then 4.1 points for Akame, while Wang Ling catches 4th place here. KLA, excuse me, TTG5, 14.8, 18.8 for Exon, and 19.9 for Frostbit. So it's not that big of a disparity because it can be any pop-off game that can come out here. Like Wang Ling could end up with an 11.4 game and be like, oh, you know? And I don't know. It's good standing so far, though. And, you know, we catch our Exon's of, I think, his 2nd MVP. Yeah, 2nd MVP. Picks up his 2nd one so far for the season. He's going to have, he had the Assault Smolder to utilize as much as possible. And the advance heal was really doing clutch. He did have Starfall. Whether or not he took the time to actually want to use Starfall, it's a really risky play. But 34k damage, bro. 34k damage in solos. That's crazy to me. Pulse Ward was the main benefit off of that. But then once he found himself using Dagger more often, right, it kind of came out to it. And then the Hong Sword's a secondary pick there as a weapon, and then 15k healing because he was just healing back to back as much as he can. But that's going to be the end of the 2nd round. We are going to get into the 3rd round, and then we're going to make that to the next video. But thank you guys for watching if you reach this point. My name is Severio for casting. If you guys have any suggestions, leave comments down below. And if you have anything of that nature to kind of like give me any sort of suggestions for the future, I'll be more than happy in taking that for the future. And I appreciate you guys if you want to message me through Discord as well. But that being said, I'll see you guys into the next part starting soon.